CIT 1121, packet tracer 1110.1. In this one, we're going to variable subnet. It's a little tricky. It's pretty much what we've been doing before. There are 5 networks of different sizes, and we're going to subnet them out. And if we don't put the addresses right where they belong, you won't score all the points. So I'm going to help you with the allocation of addresses, and I'll set up one router and one switch and one PC, and follow my pattern, and you should be okay. Keep in mind also, there's a different format of this and different IP addresses. So if you understand the concepts and the terms, you should be okay. And if you understand how to subnet, you should be okay. But yours could be a little different. I'll give you a little hint. If it's different than this, and you absolutely need to follow it step by step, close and open again, and close and open again until the diagram looks like this, and then it should be exactly the same. But you might have to open and close it a couple of times to make that happen. Okay, we got 5 networks. We've got a network with 32 hosts, a network with 19 hosts, a network with 21 hosts, a network with 14 hosts, and a network with 2 hosts, and a point-to-point between the routers. So one of the rules that we give you in this particular chapter is you should subnet down based on size of network. So it would make perfect sense to do the 32 hosts first, and then the 21, and then the 19, and then the 14. But since really the 19 and the 21 are gonna both break out to the same size of network, we're gonna do the 32 hosts first, and then we're going to do the 19 second, and then we're going to do the 21 third, and then we're going to do the 14 fourth. Just because that's how you can score all of the points in the particular lab, okay? There's also something else called summarization that we're not going to get into today, but you would generally want to try and keep networks that are right next to each other on the same router if possible. So nothing more about that for now. All right, let's go ahead and subnet this out. So the largest network that we have is 32 hosts, which means we're going to need a network that is going to be 64 addresses big, because 32 hosts equals 34 total addresses, and the size that would fit that the best would be 64 total addresses. So let's go ahead and put that network ID up here. That's going to be 192.168.203.0. And that's going to be a /26. So /26 is going to give us the first 64 addresses, so 0 through 63. I would say that would be pretty accurate. Since we're just on router west, and 19 hosts and 21 hosts are basically the same thing, they're both going to break down into network sizes of a /27 with 32 total hosts. We're going to put the second network over here on the 19 host network. So 192.168. 203. First available address is going to be 64, and that's going to be a /27. And the usable space we're going to have here is 64 through 95. We're going to do the exact same thing right below here. We're going to do 192.168.203. Next available address is 96 through 96/27. And the usable space is going to be 96 through 127, because it's going to be 32 addresses there. And then we need 14 hosts, and it specifically says don't ask for any more, 14, hey, maybe we want to make this as 32 addresses. No, let's just make it 16. Otherwise, like I said, we're here to score points. We're not here to think about what future networks we need. So 128, and that's going to be a /28, which is going to give us 128 through 143. 128 through 143, that gives us 16 addresses there, and we're set, and we're ready to go. Okay, good. Okay, that being said, oh, you know what? We missed a network. Right in between, the network in between the routers, we ended at 143, so we need a point-to-point network, which is 4 addresses. So that's going to start at 144. So it's going to be 192.168.203.144. It's going to be a /30, and that's going to be the usable space of 144 through 147. Easy enough. Okay, cool. All right, let's go ahead and configure East and ES1 and E122, and we'll call it a day. All right, good. You should be able to pick up on the patterns after this. So east, let's start with east. We'll do the right-hand side first, I'm pretty sure. So we'll go EN for global config, and config T, and INTG 0/0. Let's make sure that's the right one. We'll just do a no shut, and that is the one that we wanted. So let's put an IP address on that. So IP address 192.168.203.129 is what we're using for routers. 240 is our space there. It looks pretty good. And that one's done. All right, so we'll do an exit there. And INTG0/1. Whoa, come back. There we go. Let's try that again. INTG0/1 is going to be 192.168.203.97 IP address. 192.168.203.197. 203.97, not 197. 97, and that's a /27, so that's a 255.255.255.254. And no shut that guy. And that looks pretty good. I think we're doing pretty well. And let's do interface serial 000. So INT S0/0/0. IP address 192.168.203.145. 145, part of that subnet. Do a no shut on that. We have to bring up both sides for that to go into an upstate. And I think we're okay on that. Looking pretty good. And let's take a look at switch 1. Switch 1 here. Config T, and we're going to set up interface VLAN 1 with the second address in that space. So INT VLAN 1, IP address 192.168.203.129, 130 would be a space there, 130, 255.255.255.240. That works for me. We'll no shut that interface. And we will set up the default gateway. So IP default gateway 203.129. And we're looking pretty good. Looks pretty good. All right, let's go ahead and add an IP address to an interface here on a PC. So let's go E22. It's going to be the last address in that space. So that one's going to be 192.168.203. That goes up through 143. So 142 would be our correct address there. And it would be the same subnet mask as everybody else on the same network. And that's a 255.255.240. And default gateway is going to be 192.168.203. That's going to be the router interface. That's going to be 129. And we're at a third of our points. Sorry, 36 of our points. If I just go ahead and check results real quick, like take a look at what we've got. East is looking pretty good. ES1 is looking good. And E122 is looking good. So those three devices set up. Follow my lead on the structure of this, and you should be fine.